What's up, gang? I hope you're hanging in there, staying healthy and having fun despite being isolated at home. Today we've got something kind of cool we're going to discuss. What we're going to do is we're going to talk today about backing tracks and timekeeping devices and my looper and options like that, a keyboard and those kinds of stuff. But first, I just wanted to tackle where we are. So we've done all the shapes of minor pentatonic, and we've spent a week at a time on each individual shape except for one last one, shape 4. So that's what we're going to tackle this week. We're going to go back through doing all the things that we did with each of the individual shapes and do shape 4. Now, let's get on to the fun stuff. Let's talk about how we back ourselves while we're practicing these scales and other stuff like that. Let's do that right now. All right, so as you can see, we've got two traditional metronomes here, and these are very simple, straightforward, and just give you a click track. But obviously, you know, that can get a little bit boring. But the number one priority here is making sure that you're improving your timing. So boring is doable if that's all that you have as an option. You may have one of these metronomes sitting around your house. The next option would be something a little bit fancier, like this Boss DB90, which has a whole lot different options and can play 8th notes, 16th notes while you're doing it. It also has different voices, so you can change. Lots of different fun voicing options and everything. And a lot of different ways that you can break the things down. You can change the volumes for the quarter notes, the 16th notes. It's a pretty amazing piece of equipment. My son uses it for his drums because it's really handy to have all those different options available with a metronome, like triplets and off beats and everything. So that's what he uses that for. The other option, and I think we've discussed this before, but you've got a mobile phone, right? And with the mobile phone, so I've just created a tab called Music, where it has all of my music associated things in there, including the app for our mixer. And Smart Plus Unlimited, by the way, is really cool. It's just this awesome program that shows you or gives you all kinds of options for building chords and things like that, or discovering what chord is being played, or vice versa, inventing chords. It's got ear trainer stuff. There's a metronome built in here, tuner. This is just a fantastic app. It does cost a couple bucks, so I mean that's something that you have to think about, obviously, because there's plenty of things that are free. I also use the Metronome Beats. Now I have the Pro version. I think it was like $1.99 or something like that, and it added some additional features. But this is really handy, just having it on your phone, because then you have a metronome in your pocket at all times. But again, regardless, even all the way up to the DB90, which can play drum patterns, drums along with your metronome, it's still kind of an electronic click, so that can be boring. Like I said, our priority is fixing our timing and you know, making our timing be better. So this is the bare minimum that you need. You need a timekeeper, something to really keep you in line with that. But now let's move on to a few things, a few toys and tools that I have that are a little bit more fun. A keyboard is really cool. I feel like it's something that could easily fit into any musician's repertoire. It's something not only because, I mean, we can do ear training and interval work. We can also work out chords and things. You know, learning C, E, G on a keyboard is so much easier, as I've talked about in previous things. But here's one really cool thing about the keyboard. So I can set rhythms up to play at my beats per minute that I want. Right now I've got it set at a tempo of 88, right? and I can do my scales along with this, which has a more realistic sounding drum. And by the way, it has tons of rhythm settings and stuff. I just have it on one. But then I can do my scale along with that. Right? And that's kind of cool, right? But that's not where it ends. You thought that was it, but no, there's more. So if I create a chord, like say for instance I'm doing in the key of G, I can get it to play backing songs while I'm doing in the key of G. And then imagine doing your scale practice with that. So it gives you a lot more options. And again, like I said, there's tons of different options here with this. And you may be saying to yourself, oh my gosh, a keyboard, that's going to be a fortune. I have so many things that I've been spending money on while I'm doing this. But honestly, I think I got this thing used for like $35. And I mean, that's as cheap as a brand new low-end metronome. And yet it's got a built-in metronome with the entire drum kit and everything, and backing tracks. So I highly recommend this as an option for you for doing your timekeeping. Let's move on to the next thing. So in the old days, we used 8 tracks. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, we did use CDs, and then DVDs came along, and we have backing tracks that you can get, like for instance, Nothing But Blues, where, you know, it's just backing tracks that don't include the guitar in the lead fashion. They have backing tracks with guitar playing rhythm and drums and a bass going. And these are all still available, but I don't really recommend them at this stage because we have an easier option and a cheaper option, which is free. Back to the good old phone, and I'll show you what I do on here. So again, I've got all my folders set up, right? And so I have one called Media. And in Media, I mean, you've just got tons of options in here, but really what we want to be looking at is either YouTube or a music playing application. YouTube, you go on there, you can just search up backing tracks, and there's millions of them. So feel free to play those that way. What I like to do is I use my Amazon Music because, you know, I have an account there, and you can see, like, I've got this track already pulled up for us, Gospel Blues in G, which is, you know, just playing some slow blues backing tracks in the key of G that we can do our rhythm checking along with. But now I'm gonna blow your mind. Now that we know the name of that song, right? And again, like I said, I'm in my Amazon app, right? So guess what else I have? You might spot that I've got something a little hidden back there. That is my Amazon Echo. Check this out. Alexa, play the song Gospel Blues in G.
Gospel Blues in G by Ice B on Amazon Music.
So I can just have this going in the background. I don't even have to do anything. I just tell the Echo what to do. Pretty cool, huh? Alexa, stop. Hey Alexa, thank you.
You bet. Have a good afternoon.
You too. All right, so now we'll take a peek at some of my favorite tools. They're actually just pedals on my pedal board. I've got two main things that I'm using here. One is, may surprise you, it's called the Freeze pedal, and it's by EHX. But basically what happens is you just play a chord, you push the button on the freeze pedal, and it sustains that chord. So I still have free use of my guitar, but in the background it's playing that G chord that I just played, right? Now, you may be saying, well, there's no click track with that. So yes, that's true. you want to include a metronome at the same time. But this is perfect for me because it's quick. Say I'm just whipping something out real quick and I just want to practice one thing. I'm trying to remember, okay, what were we talking about? We're going to do position 4 this week, so I want to just be able to go. And I know that I'm in the key of G because I'm listening to that sustain at the same time, and it's giving me that G. So that's why I really dig the sustain pedal. I was turned on to that by Rick Beato. He uses it. I recommend using a metronome at the same time with it if you're going to do prolonged stuff. But if you just want something simple, say for instance you're just trying to kick something off real quick, then you just hit a chord and so that's the freeze pedal. It can be a bit of a novelty, but I love it. I use it every day. Have a lot of fun with it. Now, here's my really cool pedal, and that's the loop station. Mine is a Boss RC3, but I mean, there's tons of these pedals out there. So I would just go 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice it was smooth and stayed in the rhythm, and it goes back around. So now I can go on top of that, right? Like that, sort of. But you see how cool that is. And then another cool thing about the looper, and I've already just earlier set this one up, I put one in, see how it's beeping in time there with a rhythm that I set. Well, I set something up in the key of G. All I did was play a little strum pattern with G and made sure that I looped it together properly so that you know, it would come back around and still be in a perfect rhythm. So now I can practice my G, my minor pentatonic, and know that I'm in the key of G. So this loop pedal has drums in it too. They're pretty simple drums, not quite as complex as the keyboard one, but definitely pretty handy, and you can change through different types of drum backings and everything, and also the timing, and then you can change the tempo and all that. It can also find the tempo for you based on your strum pattern, and also when the timing of when you start and stop the loop station. So it's a pretty powerful tool. This is actually my most favorite piece out of all the things we discussed today, because it's sort of the whole kit and caboodle, right? If I'm practicing something, say for instance a solo for a specific song, well, I can play the backing part of that song because I need to practice that too anyway, right? And just put it into the loop and then come back over it and practice my lead part on top of that backed track. So that's another fun thing that I can do with that. But like I said, this is the whole kit and caboodle because it's a rhythm machine. It has your timing that you need, like that you get from a metronome, and yet also has the capability. And it's way more powerful than what we've discussed today. If you're interested in the looping type setup, you want to look that up on YouTube, because there are guys, they're doing full band type instrumentation because it'll stack loops on top of each other. I'm not very good at this, but I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. So say for instance you wanted to have a just a drum, a kind of drum pattern as your start, then you would just go. And then you can jump right back into that, and you can throw something else in there. And that will get played into your loop. And I can do it again. I can throw another thing in there. And I can stack these things on top of each other and just keep doing that. And people do amazing stuff. Mine's annoying because I'm not very good at it. But there are people that are doing full songs, and they include their microphone and stuff like that into the loop. I definitely, I suggest that if you're interested in a loop pedal, that you look those up on YouTube. But that's really what I wanted to do today, is just show you some of the tools of the trade for having a more fun time and also working on our timing at the same time. It's key at this stage, especially as 40-year beginners, that we are working on our timing, because we've spent the last 39 years not working on our timing, at least not properly, at least not for me. And so now it's time to really dig that in and get timing as part of our bag of tricks. And these are some of the cool ways to do it. You definitely want to look into using backing tracks, a metronome, a loop pedal, like I said, maybe the sustain, or a keyboard. And you don't need all of these things. I've just collected them over the years. You just need one. And you probably already have a mobile phone, hopefully. So you already have more than one. You have the options of backing tracks on YouTube, you have metronomes. All right, I hope today's episode was helpful for you. Hopefully you are using a timekeeper like me, just starting to add this to my daily practice. Comment below and let me know what kinds of things you're doing, what your experience has been, and the direction that you're going to take from this point forward. And please like and subscribe, and also share with your friends. Let them know the cool stuff that we're doing over here. I'll see you guys next week.